This could be one of the better matchups of these Goodwill games, the boxing competition. It is the flyweight semifinal. Arthur Johnson, a human buzzsaw who uses both hands so quickly, so effectively, Paul Horney, against David Griman, a world championship medalist out of Venezuela, who's been very impressive also in his two bouts.
It could be a good match, and Arthur Johnson has really been impressive. He has the quickest hands of all the 116 fighters we've seen. I tell you, he really looks good. His combinations are good. His punches are quick.
And he wastes no time putting things in motion as he lunged out there with a wild shot at Griman, who beat an Irishman and then won a close decision, almost too close, in his quarterfinal bout. Johnson, though, just breezed past the two world medalists in the World Championships in Reno, Rodriguez of Brazil and Verratti of Hungary, with amazing style and aplomb. He is an outstanding athlete, 20 years old, from East St. Louis, Illinois, and he has been accused of blooding up in the past. That cost him a medal in the World Championships against a Turkish fighter, but not here.
Not here. He's continued on with these flurries all the way through the 3 minutes. David Griman, on the other hand, the flyweight, 19 years old, 5'6". South American champ. Won a silver at the World Championships in Reno.
That was the competition where Johnson was crushed by his 3-2 defeat in the first round by the Turkish fighter Ayub Khan. He was in tears and later vowed that he would come back and make amends here at the Goodwill games. And so far, so good for Johnson, the loser of this bout, and it promised to be a tough one. Good left hand thrown there. We'll get a bronze medal no matter what, but they're fighting for more than that. They're fighting for gold to stay alive for Saturday's finals. Johnson hasn't unloaded the flurry of combination punches that we saw in his last bout, but he's showing more respect for this young man.
But he's got the perfect style for international competition. He's got quick hands. He throws a lot of punches, and when he's on, he knows it. Puts on it. He's got a little flair about him.
And he's a hard hitter, too. He's not just powder puff punches with the quickness. He gets something behind them. A little over a minute to go in the first round. It is scheduled for 3 here in the Olympic Sports Complex in Moscow. Griman looks totally unfazed by what Johnson's throwing at him. Keeps on coming. Not the slowest hands in the world either, but not as quick as Johnson.
No, sir. Nobody's taken charge yet.
Griman has good technique. He's very well coached. He's still a teenager. Good left. There's a left throw that did connect. They start to feel each other out here. Become a little more confident. Tough first round to score for the 5 ringside judges. 30 seconds left. Griman not backing up one bit away from Johnson, staying with him.
Johnson definitely the aggressor.
The official from the Soviet Union, Lovedius, throws away the sash that they used to identify the fighters. From the red corner, it is David Griman. Good hook by Griman at the end of that. A good exchange by Johnson, but he got hooked to the end of the left hand of the Venezuelan boxer.
He has a tendency to drop his hands a lot. You see his hands? Johnson's hands are down, and that is what Roosevelt Sanders, a boxing coach, must always contend with.
Both wild at the bell for round 1. Round 2, boxing semifinal here at the Goodwill Games. Not a great first round for Arthur Johnson. He fought on Friday and on Sunday, as David Griman of Venezuela did, and he looks the more tired of the two. Not quite as crisp as he was certainly in his second bout in winning the quarterfinals on Sunday.
Well, you see Griman up on his toes, moving, and Arthur Johnson, as you say, Don, does not look as quick. I think he may have lost that first round by a slim margin, 20-19, 20-point must system to the winners.
As 2018 would be a very one-sided round. It was not that. Could have gone either way. You never know how those judges are going to score it, but Johnson's certainly not as active or as accurate as he had been previously.
And Griman keeps his hands moving quite rapidly, too. He hits a lot inside.
Uses that left hook to advantage as well. Throws it there, comes up a little bit short with it. Johnson may be a little bit confused by this style as Griman is up on his toes, moving at him, digs the left of the body, missed the following right hand to Johnson. Griman, at this stage, taking charge in the second round, past the 1 minute mark. Johnson, with his long arms, having trouble getting to him. Tries to set him up in the corner now. He goes to the body. Griman shows he can be a pretty good counterpuncher as well as he dances smartly out of there. This is the first fighter who has moved well against Johnson we've seen. And that can make a difference. Past the halfway mark in the second round, the halfway mark in this bout. Arthur Johnson has got his hands full.
Oh,
there's a right.
Good combination there, a left and then a right. He comes back in and he scores, and he scored with another right.
Now he's opening up a jab by Griman, but that was the best exchange by Johnson in this entire bout so far. He's got that sneaky left hook he likes to throw at you. Show you the right. The left comes out as a jab now and falls short. Less than a minute to go in the second round. Jab, jab, 2 scoring blows by Johnson. The white area anywhere from the belt to the head.
And he's got to continue to stay busy now.
It's the scoring zone, but he is more busy certainly than he was in the first round. And the Soviet people sitting in relative silence watching this.
It's the Red Army there, Coach. A lot of servicemen, of course, all around. You see them all over Moscow, and they love the boxing here. There's a lot up in the balcony, a lot of
big crowd here for this card as we're at the semifinal stage, heading for the medals here in Moscow. Johnson, who's had to dig hard in this round, throws a combination, takes a left finishing hook from Griman there on the ropes. 20 seconds to go on the round. A couple of well-matched amateur boxers looking for the lion's share of the medals. Griman, a picture of confidence against the flashy Johnson. Throws a right then a left to Johnson, who looked more impressive earlier in this round than right now at the finish. The bell for round 2. The third round is underway in Moscow. David Griman of Venezuela, in my estimation, has an edge over Arthur Johnson of the United States, certainly in the first round, and maybe too close to call in the second round. But the bottom line, Paul Horning, is that he's going to have to work here very hard in this third round.
I think this is the decisive round. Maybe I might be a little bit prejudiced, of course, but I think Johnson may have won the second round slightly.
Well, I'm not so sure.
Nope. Well, that's close then, right?
Yeah, well, the bottom line, as we say, is he's got to turn it on here in this round. But he's fighting a very tough opponent in David Griman, who has world championship experience, the bronze medal from the World Games in Reno. And Johnson started a bit more slowly in this bout, but is coming on now in this third round more effectively. He was so impressive against the Hungarian in his last fight. Fast hands, flying like windmills. But now he tries to go inside and establish that left hook of his, which can be so effective. Now fires out the jab, but doesn't use the following right. They're at the 1-minute mark of round 3, and not a bad round for Johnson. He's keeping Griman at bay a little more, but now Griman does bear in on him. Griman going to the body. Wants to keep it inside if he can. Johnson with the long arms, pushing it back, trying to get a good shot, and does. Combination out there, but Griman just keeps on coming.
He sure does. He's forcing the action. Griman's got him in the corner.
And Griman with the edge in this third round as well. Johnson's got half the round, 1.5 minutes left, and that's about all to make an impression.
1:24, and Johnson's got to get busy now.
Griman,
he's got him on the rope.
Away from him.
Scoring.
David Griman putting on quite a show here. Griman coming forward, and Johnson is backing up, and you can't do much when you're behind on the bout and you're backing up at the same time.
He changed his tactics. He was on the defensive in the first round. He let Arthur Johnson come to him and scored at will then. Now in the third round, he just keeps coming forward. He's on the offense.
Yeah, he's wearing him down. Griman is putting on a marvelous display here in this third round. A round that Johnson had to come up big in, and so far has not. He has fought decently, but not brilliantly in this third round. And until this round, the fight was very, very close. Now it seems to be swinging very much in the Venezuelan's favor. Less than 30 seconds to go. They both go at it hard inside, giving it all they've got for this crowd here in Moscow on the Olympic sports venue. Johnson looks very tired. Griman continues to come at it. Just 5 seconds to go on the round. It's been a good one. A very good one, it would seem, for David Griman of Venezuela. It'll go to the ringside judges for their decision.
All right, we're looking at a replay of the conclusion of round 3 awaiting decision, Paul. What were your thoughts about this prior? And now you see that Arthur Johnson has won the 3-2 decision.
Well, he won a 3-2 decision, and the referee, of course, does not take part in the decision. But the 3-2 means that 3 out of the 5 judges of the fight felt that Arthur Johnson was the winner, and it was very, very close. I thought that David Griman won it in the last round. I thought he came on in the last round, but here we get a break. So we'll take it, and Arthur Johnson moves on to the finals. He's already in the finals. He's the first American boxer into the finals against a Russian, Bilges. He will fight, how do you pronounce his first name?
Oh, it's a good one. Rinvidas
Bilges in the finals Saturday night, and this will be an excellent fight.